Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. I have to do that. Welcome to the One Ship Fight Night first game. We are here. We're doing I think it's a 14v14 station capture match here on Winter Palace. Team 1 has these people. I'm not even gonna read out all the names. Team 2 has the other people. Rules of the event: you get 1,000 points to build one ship. That's all you can bring. And you can use mods. The mod list is listed somewhere on the community events thing. I have no idea what any of these ships are. Is it just going to be a brawl? Is that what we're deploying here to do? Yep. This will be peak. Looks like Team 2 is locked in, is good to go. Team 1 still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. We got some ships scattered up top, some scattered low. Who's bringing the low one? I can't even see that. SCRP? Is that 8-ball? I think that's 8-ball. Alright. Zoom in. Hey, I recognize that ship. That's a Keystone. Why does it have an extra antenna? Oh, it's Best Girl. Oh, that's not an antenna. What the fuck is that? What is that? Is that a jammer? Oh, that's awful to look at. Okay, that's actually horrifying. Okay. 8-ball has a beam destroyer. Adriser has a beam destroyer. Whatever the fuck this is also here. This is a Hypatia, I think, with the shotgun blunderbuss thing. Is it a Hypatia? Yeah, it is a Hypatia. Here's another Hypatia. No idea what that weapon is. I'm sure it looks cool. This one is a Hypatia with missiles. Fucking cool looking ship, holy shit. Still have no idea what it is. High scores brought a Hypatia with the shotgun. Internet had, that's not a beam destroyer, this is a fucking creature. Do I have to, I have to scroll! Okay, another Hypatia. That's another's, oh, it's a fucking Oddity with a rail gun! It's fucking funny. What is this? Okay, a creature, and this is a Viscount. I recognize this one. Anyway, Bell's brought a beam destroyer. I think Bell, is this an entirely vanilla ship? Yeah. We have another Noethers with, I'm assuming those are beams. Is it a Noethers? Is that what I got? Noether, okay. A Noether with beams as well. Wow, would you look at that? It's another one. This is the Hypatia with the big, like, autocannon. HIMARS has brought... Here's the fucking... What are these? Curtain call? Jammer? Is that like a... Is it a hang-up blanket? Is that what that is? That's a very fucking pointy cone. Interesting. That is also not a beam destroyer. I have no idea what these weapons are. Who brought the Q? Is that a 250 turret on this thing? Oh my god, these ships are so fucking... This is a real destroyer. Oh my god, I have... What the fuck is going on? We have another fucking oddity. We have a missile oddity here. Another Noether. Another rail destroyer. And Zopto, to finish the thing off, has brought a beam Noether. Alright, so taking a look at the map, no idea what the fuck is going on. ANS is... This is gonna take... It's gonna take actually 10 years for anything to happen. Oh my gosh. What, these fucking scroll... I had no idea you could make this have a scroll bar. That's... The Starshield DD? This one? What are those gun turrets? What do we have? Cannons. Zephos cannons. Citadel mag complex. Wow, okay, you can fit that in here. 2 gun plot centers, ammo elevators, point defense turrets. That's a lot of DC on this thing. Huh. radar jammer. Is that what that is on top? Huh. I have no idea what any of these mounts are. I'm looking at this like an idiot. This one's my favorite. Is that an advertisement on the side of this ship? Incredible. Pavis and... It says sun drive. Oh my god. This one is my favorite. This one is my favorite ship. Like, it's so stupid looking. Bell is jamming. Bell is tweaking. Bell is jamming out the Void Fairies. HIMARS is not jamming out the Void Fairies. I think this is I think based on like the aesthetic of this, I think this is a radar and comms jammer all in one. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Is that a point defense laser? I think that's an offensive laser. Huh. I'm just testing out my guns because I built this ship in the last 10 minutes. I have no idea how they function. Yeah, welcome to the one ship fight night. We're losing our minds already. High score going in. That is the musket. Yes. The blunderbuss is the bigger turret. Full Sades. I have no idea what they are. Full Sades look like 120 quad barrel, and then the shotgun. Okay, I think I see what this ship is supposed to be doing. Except for what's on the bottom. Is that a laser? That's a laser. Whiplash, Spyglass, large DC. Alright. Interesting. I'm like looking for early engagements, but absolutely nothing's happening. All OSP has to do is fucking sit here on the facility. OSP. I just said OSP for Team 2. I'm so cooked, guys. Oh. Engagement mid-range as whatever the fuck this is engages Adriser's Beamstone at long range. That was quite a lot of damage at that range. Adriser gets into cover, goes dark. Alright, so they get into cover, they can effectively repair. This thing is popping out bubble jamming. That's comms and radar. I'm assuming that's what's... this is, and the comms jammer on the bottom. Yeah, I'm assuming that's the comms jammer, that's the radar jammer. Okay, that makes sense. Currently jamming out who knows what. Maybe it had missiles fired at it? Not entirely sure. We have an at ARAD Val S2H coming on the side here. Doesn't look like it's going to acquire anything. HIMARS and Bell are way too high. Yeah, it gets shot. Did it get shot down or just run out of range? I wasn't looking. Missiles over here from Strike. These are S2 Command. Cruise. Command. Interesting. Do they have lock? They have lock on the Destroyer. What's your... oh, Destroyer takes a massive hit downrange from OSP. As you can see, whatever the fuck that, like, purple energy shit is, immediately destroying a radar. Damaging... that's a Citadel mag it took to 23. Damn, okay. That is a impressive weapon system. RPF going out, able to destroy the incoming missiles. This destroyer is taking a lot of fire. Loses one of the gun turrets. More shots go downrange. Right out the Citadel mag. What the fuck are those weapons? That's an insane level of damage. Alright. Axford, in parentheses, heavy cruiser, puts shots downrange of... I don't know what the fuck it even is. Out onto threat, I'm assuming. Looks like most of those miss. Doesn't do much of any damage. Threat looks like it's backing off. Trying to get into cover. Jamming coming out from pause here. As... yeah, the engagement mid-range is starting to happen here. More of that purple stuff. Does armor affect it? A little bit by the looks of it. Does damage some of the plasma ducts on these. I'm assuming those are buff modules for the guns. Heavy rotary plasma turret. Yep. Oh, never mind. Armor doesn't do fucking anything. Holy shit, that thing took a... that thing does so much fucking damage. What the fuck? That's actually an insane weapon. Heavy plasma cannon. Return fire from above. Snipes out the drive on threat. From above, Internets and Zippy. Pretty good crossfire here on Threat. Okay, I have no idea what guns this thing are using, but that looks fucking sick as hell. As Threat is already structure broken. One restore has taken massive damage. I think the first kill goes to Team 1 here. Although Ghost Dragon getting absolutely obliterated, trying to sneak around the side alone, gets attacked by like 3 enemy ships at the same time. They're gonna go down here pretty quick here. There's no way they can get out of there. Drives down on the destroyer. It's taking a lot of damage, but it's still somewhat functional. If they can get out of there, they can effect repairs. Return fire. I have no idea what the fuck is even going on. What are these weapons? I do not understand. This is just a torpedo beam destroyer. Nope, those are S3H. Never mind. I stand corrected. Team 2 just sitting here, guarding the station with these long-range heat weapons. The Ceres taking a lot of fire here. Axford continuing to just duel out in the middle here. Completely unfazed by the return fire, although is starting to take up some damage. What? Are those the beams from that range? They reach out that far? That's not doing a whole... They're actually doing, like, nothing, but still. Railguns go out. Railguns are going to be very effective against this thing, considering it is bow on. This ship just continuing to engage, completely unfazed by the amount of fire going into it. Firing its reverse thrusters, probably trying to get into cover now. Those reverse thrusters have taken, like, no damage for some reason. Anything else going on? Ghost Dragon here. Still taking a bunch of fire. Still in the fight, though, technically. 2 restores left. High score. Flanking potentially over the top here. They are spotted by HIMARS and Bell here as they pivot their beam destroyers to engage. Yeah, those are comms jammers and radar jammers in one, as HIMARS is completely jamming out this this ship here. Beam from HIMARS, that is an offensive laser weapon. Does absolutely no damage, doesn't even get through the armor on this thing. High score realizing that they've been outflanked, they are pivoting to engage. And Noether gets a flank as well, starting to burn through that armor. Doesn't do a whole lot to begin with yet, though. Captain James and Zippy are still over top here looking down. They do not want to push into that massive OSP deathball here. How's the Axford doing? Axford gets into cover. Now it's up for Tonic to take... Tonic immediately losing its reactor and its drive. Rather unfortunate damage spread there. Beams go out into high score here. Beam from Bell, HIMARS, and Blue Burls. Absolutely core this poor fucking torch ship. Really good flank here from Team 2. Commands... What the fuck is a GOT Seeker? I don't even fucking know. Come out to finish this thing. Yeah, and that's high score effectively out of the fight. 8-ball flanking from below and behind. Completely undetected there. So, Act, ARAD, and... Act missiles over the top here, going out into Internet Explorer's long-range Keystone. They fuse on chaff and miss. The other ones do not have the arc to detect the Keystone. Nope, they miss. Salvo out into Zippy and Captain James. The beam weapons from Captain James' ships, intercepting most of those. No idea what those weapons are, but they seem very effective against missiles. Engagement downrange between the beam ships here as Zippy engages... Looks like they're engaging HIMARS' Best Girl, immediately taking out the drive. Keystone moment right there. Captain James puts in fire into Best Girl as well. Destroys the beam, although Blue Burl and Bell are still fully functional. Fire from up top. It looks like that was probably trying to go into Best Girl, but comedically missed. Yeah, the angled armor on these torch ships doing a lot to even absorb even, like, beam fire. Missiles. Missile strike Bell from behind, taking out the drive. That is a reactor overload that should be repaired. Takes out a plant control and a large DC. That is a very bad hit for Bell. More missiles out. Looks like they're trying to finish the job here. Internet's engages from above, putting fire into Best Girl. Best Girl is now pretty crippled here, losing its drive, its reactor, and its beam. They're trying to get them back online, but this thing is stuck out in the open, taking a beating here. Beams continuing to go in from Blue Girl as they... Looks like they're trying to withdraw here from the engagement, recognizing that they cannot really take this fight. Captain James pushing into the enemies here as Best Girl... I don't think Best Girl is getting out of this. Missiles acquire Best Girl, not Bell. Go into the core section. I'm impressed this Keystone isn't structure broken yet. Bell doing a pretty good job of jamming out the enemy, is able to get unspotted and backed up here. Missiles still fishing for a hit on Bell, I believe. These are likely going to acquire on Best Girl as well. What else is going on? On the opposite side of the map here, Solar gets pounced on by Kenobi's, What a fucking sound effect. Holy shit, that's literally just stolen from Star Wars. Okay. Well, Solar just gets caught out here, getting absolutely cooked by Kenobi's, Noethers here. Jeez, what the fuck? I have no idea what these weapons are, and they're fucking insane. Holy shit. Zippy takes a lot of damage here, trying to restore their drives and get moving again. They are still fine. They're not detected anymore. Captain James doing a really good job of taking the fire off of Zippy as they restore. Bell has gotten to cover, and Blue Rolls has started to take some fire to the front side of the ship here. The beams are still functional. They are still firing back, although those are 2 energy regulators that are down. Although Zopto gets a flank here. Massive damage into the flat surface of this torch ship. That is going to hurt. That damage adding up incredibly quickly here. Fire swaps to Zopto, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Zopto takes this kill here. Yep, CIC down. A lot of really nice flanks from both teams here, catching out lone ships and picking them off one by one. I could not tell you who's winning. I think that this is slightly to the advantage of Team 2 at the moment. They're on defense. All they have to do is defend the facility, whereas Team 1 has to push, and Team 1 has already lost a lot of ships trying to do so. Blue Rolls getting attacked from multiple angles here. Captain James still functional. Was that Captain James? Who fired those beams? Was that Blue Rolls who fired the beams? No, that was Blue Rolls who fired the beams. Never mind, ignore me. Captain James is still being picked apart here. Still functional, very red. Everything's very red, but the ship is still recoverable. Zopto getting fired on by Internet Explorer up top, forcing them to sort of withdraw here. They still get some fire on to Captain James here. Can those weapons break damage threshold? It looks like they can on non-reinforced stuff. Missiles out. Fishing for Blue Rolls here. Drive is down. That is a fuel line fire. This thing's reactor and some of its point defense is down. These missiles are likely going to find their way home on this ship with its, limited defensive capabilities. Question is, how much damage are they going to do? Scattering of damage. One of them completely missing for some reason. I think it probably staged on chaff and didn't have the maneuverability to correct. Microsoft popping up top with the railgun fucking Oddity. This is such a... What is this? Why would you do this? It's completely cursed. Missiles out on Felipe here. He is CIC down. Does have a target lock. Those command missiles are going to find their way home. That is a lot of damage that goes into Felipe here. Bell putting the beam down range. Finishing them off. And it looks like Adriser also gets finished off here. It looks like... Not by What are those life pods fucking doing? Jesus Christ, what is going on? Team 1 losing a lot of ships here really quickly. Zippy engaging Zopto at close range here. Sends out a couple of S2s, but the flak intercepts. Zopto does appear to be in the healthier ship here as looks like the Basil has already taken quite significant fire. Yep, that is drives down on the Basil, and this thing is very red. Unable to do much at all to fight back. 8-Ball flanking from below. Do these ships know he's there? He is spotted. Missile launched. This is a torpedo of some kind. I have no idea what these missiles are. That's Command Hodge. I mean, pretty standard Seeker combo, but I still have no... Oh, it just popped decoys. Okay. Curious. That was a Naginata that was fired into the crowd as well. Torpedo finds its way... No, Torpedo misses! Doesn't have the maneuverability to hit. Although those missiles will hit, and those missiles do finish off Zippy there. I'm curious on what 8-Ball does here. 8-Ball has gone dark. Looks like they're approaching the Missile Oddity right now. The Missile Oddity is taking long-range fire from... I think that's... the Devil, this torch ship here. Those long-range heat rounds are fucking ridiculous. Yeah, massive damage at long range. Takes out the VLS-2. Here comes the beam from 8-Ball. Finishes off this, this poor Missile Oddity here. Yep, that was the last restore gone, and that is a kill for 8-Ball there. Still firing at the dead ship. They need to swap targets here. Command Torpedo goes out into 8-Ball here. Looks like they're trying to defend. Is that an AMM Naginata? That's what it is. It's a torpedo, though, so it doesn't deal a whole lot of damage to it. Chaff is out. Flares are out. The drive is gone, though. Who pivoted to engage? That was Jet that pivoted to engage. Massive damage. Is this torpedo going to get shot down? There is a defender on this ship. Yep, so it does shoot down the missile. These ones... ran out of range with 2 of them. I think those got shot down by the defender. One of them makes its way, damaging the beam a little bit. Kenobi flanking around the corner here, looking to maybe get some kills here. Changeling going in for the ram. Although their ship is massively damaged at this point in the game. No restores. Most of its guns look like they're done. Oh, its magazines are dry as well. Unfortunate. Beams coming in from multiple ships here, trying to finish them off. What the fuck are those beam point defense weapons? What the fuck? That's actually insane. Missiles are actually just useless in range of those weapons. That's fucking ridiculous. Devil taking return fire from Team 2 here as the rails come out from Nick. Kenobi does get the flank, is starting to put fire into Team 2's flank here. Long range fire into dual front here from both Kenobi and Hypatia-class? Wait, how do you pronounce this name? Kajetin, I think. Oh, I'm butchering the names. Oh, it's awful. It's awful. Massive close-range brawl here on the facility point as they try to finish off this crippled ship here. This definitely a heavy cruiser. Kenobi's still doing pretty good, starting to take a little bit of damage from the beams, but they are putting out much more damage than the enemy is. Able to get pretty good fire into the ships that are engaging them. That is a lot of fucking damage. That is a CIC done. So reinforced CIC. Geez, okay. Changeling says going nuclear as they announce that, nope, they have no crits. I do not know what they meant by that. How's 8-Ball doing? 8-Ball gets the drives back online, although they get knocked out again. Still just taking fire from H-Miss here. More torpedoes out on the crippled ship from Changeling. Kenobi absolutely just messing up this Noethers here. Jesus, those weapons do so much. Looks like that was a successful torpedo hit into this ship. It is still alive on the station. If Team 1 can knock out enough of these ships guarding the station here, they might be able to start capturing it. Captain James flanking from the top. They are still in the fights. Their musket is still functional as they push down from above, putting fire into the top of Hallow's ship here. Hallow rolling to engage the incoming threat. Is that a T-30? Jesus Christ. Kenobi still putting range. ANS is doing significant damage to the ship, still guarding the point here. And Changeling is still alive on the point. I said ANS again. If Team 1's able to kill these ships guarding the objective, they might actually be able to take the station. Although that being said, there are still quite a lot of ships in the area that are still functional for Team 2. Although Team 1 is doing a pretty good job of starting to chew through them here. Those heat weapons are fucking ridiculous at this range. Railstone starting to take fire here. Looks like it dodges most of it. Hits a lot of the thrusters. Up there comes the damage. Reactor's taking damage. Drive is taking damage. Those weapons are fucking ridiculous. That thing reduced to 24%, and most of them missed the drive. Jesus, okay. ARAD acts. S2s returning fire on Kenobi. Does Kenobi have the missile defense to stop those? Looks like they might be trying to rock PD these. Will they be able to is the question. Doesn't look like it. AMM's out. Able to shoot down one of them. One missile hits. That takes out one of the reactors. Not a whole lot of damage. More missiles do go out. AMM's intercept. Two of them. Another missile hit onto the back. Kenobi is still repairable, although that is unfortunate damage to receive at this time. Captain James still flanking from the top. Putting fire into these. That was a devastating flank from Captain James. Can we appreciate that? They took out like 2 ships after being heavily damaged here. HMS drive is down here. Still putting fire back, but pretty crippled here. 8-Ball knocked out of the fight here. They are done. Missiles out. They acquire Nick's Keystone here. Looks like... Did they run out of range or were they intercepted? I legitimately can't tell anymore. Long-range Keystone is still functional, still does get some fire into Captain James here. Manages to kill the ship here out of DC. No, it still has DC. No restores. CAC down. Yep, Captain James is now out of the fight, although they did get a really impressive flank there at the end. Both teams pretty heavily bled on assets here. I think that Team 1 has done a really good job of flipping this around late in the match here. Able to get a bunch of impressive kills here on the facility point. Missiles into Captain James's dead ship. It looks like those were probably fired before the ship went down. Bell says, bruh. What does Bell mean by that? Bell's being fired on by RPF. General Tonic here firing RPF for whatever reason at Bell. This destroyer still functional after taking a massive beating at the beginning of the match. Bell's Keystone, a little bit worse for wear here. They did restore most of the stuff, but it is pretty heavily damaged. If that thing gets in range of some of these long-range heat weapons stuff, it's going to get torn apart pretty quickly. Those long-range beams that some of these Noethers are using seem to, like, do no damage, like, at all. They're, like, they have, like, negative battle impact. I don't understand why they're doing so little. Microsoft Edgelord with the rail, getting some rail support into the facility point area here for the flank from Kenobi and Kajedin. I think I pronounced their name differently each time I've said it. They'll beam out on General Stop here. With the crossfire from Jat here, that does take out that ship there. Nick in the area, though. Will it acquire that Keystone, though? The weapons are bearing to target, some of them masked by hull. The enemy's attacking the objective. Is Team 1 taking the objective? Team 1 has pushed the enemy out of the point temporarily, though. HMIS does get back onto the point to start contesting it. Looks like Kenobi immediately swaps fire to try and dislodge this ship. The magazine goes down immediately. Jesus Christ, that thing is bow on with the angled armor. Good lord, that thing does a ton of damage. Oh no! But Changeling does go down on the point here. There's Team 1 has no one on the facility to actually contest it anymore. Although that being said, if they continue to use these ships effectively, they're just going to chew through everything that gets into range of them. This ship going from pretty decent to being completely crippled in like a couple seconds. Good lord. Bell snipes the CIC on this destroyer here. How is their beam turret doing? Still functional, but their drive is down here. What did it take fire from? Who shot them? I don't even know. Internet's flanking from above here with their long-range destroyer. It is target locked by, presumably, someone else's destroyer. Yeah, being target locked by Nick here as the rail continues to go down onto this ship in the middle of the map here. Bell's drive is not functional and his beam is not pointed in the correct area. If this ship can start getting some pod shots into Bell, it might actually take him out. Drive immediately going out on this Keystone here as Kenobi puts fire into it. Kenobi, the fucking MVP of Team 1 at the moment. Absolutely tearing apart Team 2 ships right now. Jesus Christ, that does so much damage. Reds the reactor. Missiles return fire into Kenobi. We did notice that Kenobi does not have all that much when it comes to missile defense. Will these get through is the question. Kenobi is just going for the facility point at this stage in the match. Should be worth noting that Team 2 still does have this long-range... Wait, do they? Where is it? Here it is. They still have this long-range heat keystone by the looks of it. Missiles do hit. Does quite a lot of damage to Kenobi there. Although Keshkin is still functional here. The rail's coming out to try and finish off the ship here. Zopto is still functional, putting fire into this destroyer here. A lot of those shells missing. Does take out the drive, though. This ship not really doing a whole lot to fight back at the moment. Nope, it's got a gun out. Firing some shells. It is structure. Zopto's ship is structure broken. Long-range gun deal between these fleets here as they try and push for the facility here. Team 1 down to very little ships. So is Team 2. This is a really close match, all things considered. This poor destroyer didn't really do much of anything this match. It's just getting picked apart by various Team 2 assets here. Team 1, though, is about to step onto the point here if this ship can maintain its drive functionality until... It's a Prowler drive? Kind of based, TBH. Should be worth noting that Team 1 does not have a track on Jet's Keystone here, as it is putting in work, putting in those long-range barrages against Kenobi. This destroyer's hanging in there. Beam from Bell. Bell gets their drive back online as they put a beam into this destroyer, although it is still functional. Kenobi putting in supporting fire for Nick's destroyer here. Although they are starting to take a lot of damage. Their magazine does go down here. Devil still functional. Looks like it's trying to turn to engage Zopto at the moment. Objective being secured by Team 1 here, but Kenobi goes down.
The enemy is securing the objective.
Kashkin steps onto the objectives to start taking it, although they are target locked and will start getting picked apart by these Keystones if they are not careful. Internet's pointing the wrong way in their destroyer, coming down onto the point here. Bell is in position for a nasty beam flank onto Internet's, or even Kashkin on the point. Spore Destroyer still hanging in there. A lot of the bullets being fired at them missing, although the beam does come in to deal not a lot of damage. This thing is holding up really well. I think most of that damage is going into that complex in the Citadel mag. From up top, Internet puts fire into Bell's Keystone here. Takes out some of the blankets, one of the FPAs as well. This thing's drive and reactor is very, very injured. If Internets can get good hits on Bell's destroyer here, they might be able to knock it out. Fire order canceled. Nope, never mind. Fire order reestablished from Internet. Gun turret bearing to target. Will they get this attack off or not? Their ship is pretty heavily damaged at this point, missing the reactor, no restores left. Although, yep, nope, there it goes. Immediate hits into the drive. Bell's beam trying to hit Kashkin here. Are they still functional enough to fire back? They're out of power. The reactor's done. They've got no resource to bring that back online. Microsoft burning for the facility here. Question is, will the ships on the facility point remain active long enough to take the point? I do not think so. I have my doubts. Multiple ships getting flanks out on this poor torch ship. Objective being contested by Zopto as they step onto the point, putting fire down range. They are heavily damaged, but still in the fight here. Return fire from Nick is completely missing. Their radar is completely messed up at this point, as it looks like the remainder of Team 2 ships start pushing forward onto the point to defend it. Microsoft still firing their railgun, still trying their best to take out some of these ships, but without any missiles left, they are pretty diminished in what they can do. Looks like that's a surrender from Team 1 here, as a lot of them calling GG. Those shells not doing a whole lot of anything from Nick, huh? Doing like no damage. Are they just not getting through the armor? Oh, there we go. That was a hit. All that's left is Microsoft and Nick here. They are the last two ANS players left, and this Oddity is going to get cored pretty quickly here. Wait, what happened to... They get the kill on Zopto. Objective being contested by now Nick and Jat here as they move on to the point to try and stop this Oddity from taking the point. Beam out from Bell onto the flank of this ship here. Taking out a VLS-2, starting to deal damage to the drive. Bell, there goes the battle short. CIC down. Yeah, this Oddity's been completely cored. I'm not entirely sure how this ship isn't structure broken. That is a surrender from Edge, as it looks like Team 2 is going to take this. Very close game here, as Team 2 with only 4 surviving ships, a lot of them kind of beat up here. A very interesting match to begin.